Hi everybody, this is Black Rhino Ranger, back to doing yet another commentary on my animations last year where I count down towards my 30th birthday. And these commentaries are a countdown towards my next birthday, which is on April 19th, and I'll be turning 31. So, next up, we'll be talking about 1995, which, as you can see in this picture, I just turned. It was my first birthday, and you're probably wondering what is this? Why is it specifically that shape? Why is it like that dog shape? It's meant to represent that one of my earliest presents on my birthday was a toy Spot the dog. For those who don't know, Spot the dog is basically a preschool show about this little canine. Yeah, I remember the theme song. It goes a little something like Spot, Spot, a lovable Spot. He stopped and cuddly and he smiles a lot. Do do do, there was a pop. Do do do, is Spot, 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 do do do. So that was basically my one of my earliest toys. I don't know if I still have it with me, but it was a memory I like to see. So what came out in 1995 that I would consider my most favorite? So right over here, my most favorite TV cartoon that year was The Lion King's Timon and Pumbaa, which is a spin-off to The Lion King, the first of the TV spin-offs of The Lion King. Yeah, some of you might be more familiar with The Lion God, but Timon and Pumbaa was my jam. It was funny, it was comedic, it was off-the-wall bonkers and very random, yet it still maintained my attention. Sure, The Lion King was definitely beautiful, but sometimes I love a good goofy fun. By the way, in case you're wondering what are those Timon is carrying on his leaf, it's the Insecticons. Anyway, so what is my what are my honorable mentions for most favorite cartoon that year? There's Pinky and the Brain, the spin-off to Animaniacs, which I found liking more than Animaniacs. Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries, which I think was my introduction to Sylvester and Tweety. I can't remember. I mean, I did remember seeing the old Looney Tunes back then, but I can't remember if I saw them first before Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries, or I saw Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries first. Then there's The Mask, the animated series, which has Rob Paulsen voicing Jim Carrey's The Mask. I didn't realize it was based on a very dark and disturbing comic. And since NetherRealm Studios made a deal to use Hellboy, which is a Dark Horse comic character, just like The Mask, I think they have a golden opportunity to get The Mask for the next Mortal Kombat game in case Deadpool is unavailable. And number 4 honorable mention would be What a Cartoon, aka the Cartoon Show, where they present so many different cartoons as pilots. Some managed to get picked up and some did not. Some of the cartoons include, I think it was called Mina and the Count, before it was gone to Nickelodeon, or was it Nickelodeon first in Cartoon Network? There's Faux Paws, which was created by Chris Savino, the creator of The Loud House. There's there are plenty of others. There are even 2 shorts created by Ralph Bakshi. It was something about this cockroach who helps this clown. It was surprisingly very mature especially being presented in a kids show, because they mention breastfeeding and perversion. No, explicitly. They mentioned it, they didn't show it, but they mentioned it. I'm like, geez, how did Ralph Bakshi get away with that on Cartoon Network? Anyways, and for my most favorite animated film, as you can see, it's a Goofy movie with Max. Being made in 1995, it was a bit of a millennium type of show. I'm thinking, if a film that's like Goofy movie was made in 2025, would it be super cringy? Would it be something that we gonna keep face palming ourselves? Or will it be a nice little time capsule when we look back on it and see how much it resonates with us or something like that. If we were born in the 2010s or 2020s or something like that. I mean, I remember some people who were born before 1995, I remember they were cringing a little bit when they saw a Goofy movie. But when we from born in the 90s or 2000s look back at a Goofy movie, we have a sense of nostalgia. You could say this film is both timeless and dated at the same time. One of my honorable mentions for favorite movie, it's Toy Story, the first animated feature film completely made in CGI. A great revolutionary masterpiece. Land Before Time 3, The Time of the Great Giving, one of the very few serviceable Land Before Time sequels. Pocahontas, a very divisive film, rather, and mainly because of its animation and music being great, but the story and having it being based on a real event, and maybe some unintentional racism towards Native Americans can hinder the movie a bit. And if I'm counting live action animation hybrids, Casper, the Friendly Ghost. I think that was I don't know if that was my true introduction to Casper. I think I may have seen a couple of oldie shorts as a kid. But I thought it was a pretty solid film, and the CGI surprisingly holds up very well. Unlike its direct-to-DVD prequel, where the CGI looks like it doesn't look very good. And what is my favorite video game of 1995? It's Tekken 2. It was when I was introduced to more animalistic characters like Roger and Alex. One's a raptor, the other's a kangaroo. And for a while, I was more into Tekken than I was into Street Fighter because it has some animal characters. Although Tekken 2 is not my most favorite Tekken game, it's either Tekken 3 or Tag Tournament, and I do consider it my favorite entry of 1995. Honorable mentions include the Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, the very first Worms game where they looked more like real worms rather than cartoony worms, the Timon and Pumbaa Jungle games, and the Toy Story game, which I did remember playing the Game Boy version at one point. So yeah, those are my favorite TV cartoons, animated movies, and video games, and honorable mentions that year. So what's happening? Here's Timon with so many bugs. Yeah, there's a ladybug, no spots, there's a praying mantis, and the grub thing. One of the best things I love about doing animal characters is that they can literally eat anything. They can even cannibalize each other, or eat bugs, or whatever. But hey, it's the nature of... It's Mother Nature. Sometimes Mother Nature can make you go... eat something you're not supposed to eat. I mean, there have been reports that squirrels have been eating some meat, or rabbits have been eating some meat. Horses, especially, have been eating some baby chickens. And of course, this is not proof. And heck, even though herbivores mostly eat grass and stuff, they will unintentionally eat some insects since they have been on it. They might have eaten a worm. Yeah, so apparently the bug contains a little letter. It says here, now this one is by a friend named Princess Josie Ricky. Hey, what are your thoughts on the crossover rivalry Eric Cartman versus Chung Cho Krok? That one I kind of scratched my head. Apparently it was a fanfic. So the best response I got out of it is... all I can think of is Cartman has an anal probe mixed with the death of Eric. The one where Cartman gets a probe from the aliens, which was the first episode of South Park, and the death of Eric Cartman, where Cartman eats some chicken skins from KFC, and everybody's like, okay, we're fed up of him. Let's pretend he's dead. Let's just ignore him. Cartman, and that makes leads to Cartman real. Thinking he was dead. In case, and... so we thought if he's dead, then he must do something good in order to go to heaven. So Anyways, moving on. So, what's the letters what's the experiences he got for So Black Rhino Ranger receives a tape from Max Goof, and who's in a power line on a skateboard, representing, of course, the 90s. And it's on a VHS. Yeah, it's a VCR. Now this one's a bit tricky because this person doesn't have an experience in 1995, but they did express what is their favorite cartoons or movies or stuff like that time. It says that their favorite movies are Pebble and the Penguin, Toy Story, and Casper. Their favorite animated shows were Little Bear, Timon and Pumbaa, and Happily Ever After. And their favorite game was Dating That 13, Dragon Quest VI, and Super Mario World 2. It was a lot to give in, so I decided to just pick in something random with Pebble and the Penguin. I'm just gonna pick Pebble and the Penguin. It's kind of funny that in some scenes the penguins look... And the random thing I brought up about Pebble and the Penguin was that there are some moments in Pebble and the Penguin where the characters look like they're frozen in a block. From what I understand, the production of Pebble and the Penguin was a bit of a mess. There are some scenes that looked like they were unfinished, and it caused some characters to look like they were frozen, completely standing still, and it makes the film unintentionally hilarious. Like they're frozen. There's a moment where they caused the characters to look like this. In time. Hard to believe it was made by Don Bluth, the same guy who brought us The Secret of Nim and The Land Before Time and several other classics of the 80s. Of course, he also did The Patrol in Central Park and Rockadoodle. Oh, and if you're not comfortable with that film, Thumbelina as well. And here's Alex. He punched through a wall. Oh, and he gives him a present. And what was the present? Basically just some characters. A character from Sailor Moon, a character for some random anime I've forgotten. From one, Freddy Fazbear from Five Nights at Freddy, a Mixels character, and that German rat character from Cupcake. They were originally they were the ones who were supposed to be waving, and my mascot, was supposed to be waving at them like Ned Flanders, like a hi diddly neighbor. But to save on time, I decided to just have Black Rhino Ranger here. Did someone else already did it? And I said, didn't the Simpsons already did it? A little reference to that South Park line, Simpsons did it. So yeah, that's my commentary on day 2. Tune in tomorrow for day 3. Hope you've enjoyed this video.